All right, so good morning, welcome. I'm here with Danny. So my name is Juan Carlos. I'm the owner of Horizon Media Management. Danny is the owner of Lafayette Auto Trim, upholstery shop in Lafayette. We've been in business, or the shop has been in business for 40 years now.
Yeah,
just about, right? So today we're going to talk about a little bit of the shop, the history of the shop. Danny was nice enough to allow us, some of his time to talk about his business. Thank you, Danny. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
So it's a upholstery shop for vehicles, motor vehicles, and now recently you started doing furniture, right?
Correct.
Furniture.
Yeah, furniture as well.
Right. So tell us a little bit about how it all got started. The history of Lafayette Auto Trim.
Sure. So growing up, I really didn't know about an upholstery shop or know really what it was or that this place even existed, even though it was in my hometown my whole life. But I got asked to help build this funeral home next door when I was graduating from Vincennes, Southern Indiana, in construction. And they said, "Well, can you help me build this funeral home?" And I said, "Sure." So I came to town and I realized quickly next door there was a upholstery shop that he owned, and he said he's pretty much retired and he's looking to close the doors, if nobody's interested in it. And we started working at the funeral home, but we had to come over here to get water and restroom and things because there was nothing over there yet. So I quickly met Chico, who's been here for, I don't know, forever, since he was 18 years old. And he's the one who kind of took me under his wing and taught me everything.
Okay.
And Phil, he asked me if I could watch the business for him when he went to Florida for the winter. And so Phil and I were pretty good buddies, and he trusted me with his business, and he eventually sold it to me. So that's
Okay.
in a nutshell, that's
Right.
the short version of how it went.
So it was really, you kind of stumbled into it.
Yeah,
right?
I kind of fell into it. Didn't know a thing about it.
Right.
Just kind of,
So you went to school for something different.
construction. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I grew up on a farm, and I was probably just going to go back to the farm after school. But Phil got a hold of me and needed help, so I came to the rescue, and
Came there.
here's what happened.
40 years later.
Yeah.
Almost, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Chico and I were together for probably 10 years, and he retired. He's down in New Albany now, doing good.
Is he? Okay.
And,
And he retired out of this place, right?
Yeah.
Out of this place,
Yep.
right? So
Yeah, he was here for a very long time.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's, good for him. He
Yeah.
Made,
He was
made
good.
it a career,
Yep.
and he retired now.
Yeah, he was a good teacher. So.
Right. And he's stopped by a couple times.
Oh
right?
yeah, a couple, 2 or 3 times a year he'll.
He's been featured in some of the
pop
videos
in.
that we've made, so
Yeah.
awesome. So that's a nice little kind of walked into it really more so than anything else. But
Yeah.
it ended up working out a little bit.
Yep.
Right.
So
So
it kind of, yeah. I guess it's funny how things work out. You never know what you're gonna get into.
yeah, right. And now you're the owner of it. You've
Right.
been running. How long have you been running it for?
Probably around 13 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've officially had it under your
Mm-hmm.
management ownership for 13 years.
Yep.
And how long did you work for him before that?
Just a couple, probably 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
In and out.
Not
And
too bad.
I was doing a lot of things for him.
Right.
And just not only here, but everywhere.
Hadn't quite settled in yet.
Yeah.
Younger, you know.
Right.
Yeah, that's kind of what you do.
And
so.
then once I kind of officially took over, this was about 100% of my time.
Right. Yeah. Trying to run a full business. So
Right.
absolutely. So what's a typical? I mean, just a quick rundown. Maybe a day in the shop for you, getting started. I'm sure it can go, crazy.
Yeah,
but
you just never know
typically,
what curveball you're gonna get thrown at you. But
right.
a typical day is we'd have a car or two on schedule. Probably been on schedule for 2 or 3 weeks, so we know it's coming. So the day before we'll line up material and look ahead, see what's coming in, and make sure we have everything to do job. And then the guys will, we'll get started on the dailies first, appointments. Get their cars back by 2 or 3 o'clock so they can continue their day.
Right.
And then we'll start in on our drop-offs. If it's a motorcycle seat or a headliner or just you never know what's gonna come through the door.
Right.
And then we got the furniture side too, so it's kind of the same thing. It's a little different. Sometimes it involves pickup and delivery, so you gotta plan to be away from the phone for a while, but then you come back and somebody's waiting on you, or you gotta call somebody back, and then check on the guys over here, make sure everything's, they don't need anything, things are going good, and then seems like I always have a project or two I'm doing myself somewhere around
Right,
here.
yes.
So yeah, we all stay pretty busy, and that's just kind of the typical day.
Right.
You know,
Whatever's on the schedule for what needs to get done.
you don't ever know what's gonna come in, so it's
Yeah.
kind of, that's what makes it interesting. You know, some days it's a car, some days it's a boat, some days it's a hot rod, motorcycle.
It's always changing and keeps you guys on your toes.
Yeah, you just
right?
don't know.
Yeah.
So
So you have a team, right? You've got a
Correct.
team of guys that
Yep.
work with you, and
Yep,
then
there's-
you also get on your hands on. This is your machine, right?
right,
NC
yeah.
machine.
Yeah,
so-
this is my long arm. I love it. My daily driver.
Right,
Drive
right.
it every day.
Okay. Perfect.
But,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, we communicate with NC, you know, a good amount.
Yeah, they're a big help.
You
They support us
communicate
on
with
social
them.
media, and they help me with all my machines when I need them, and got a nice group of guys to work with.
Right, yeah, absolutely. Shout out to NC Machines. So you like to get hands on,
Oh yeah,
still
I'm still active. I
Right.
just don't do the phone all day.
right, yeah. So you gotta,
When I have time, I'll pick up a project and help knock things out, or just wherever I'm needed. I'm a team player, you know, just
absolutely.
here, there, everywhere.
What's been some of your favorite types of projects to work on? Boats, cars, what do you think? If
Yeah, I
anything,
mean,
if you could choose something that you just enjoy, kind of rolling up your sleeves and getting down into, what kind of
Right.
project do you like?
It just depends, you know. I kind of like them all, but I like doing the boats. I'm a boater myself, and I like the boats, the atmosphere,
Right.
the boat people, and you know. But I like doing, if I have time for a hot rod, it's enjoyable.
Right.
If you don't have time and you can't dedicate that time, it makes it challenging.
Right.
You have to take on a special custom build, which is fun to do, but you have to make sure you have the time to do it.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you can't sign up for something and then just, it's just hard to get to when you're busy with everything else, the daily stuff. So it's fun to do, but you have to make sure you have time to do
You gotta manage your time.
Yes.
You're still
it. Yeah.
ultimately still running a business, right?
Right.
It's not just it's fun to get.
It's not just a
obviously,
one-on-one, you in
Yeah.
the car for 6-8 weeks, or
Right.
just,
Mhm.
that's hard to do when you're doing everything else.
Right.
Um,
You gotta run your business on top of keeping up with
Right.
everything that's coming in.
And I enjoy all the projects. I enjoy even doing the seat repairs. They're all, it's all
That's awesome.
accomplishing something. And it comes in, and you can see it needs help, and then when the finished product looks nice when it leaves, it's a good feeling.
Right. Seeing it,
Right.
seeing it completed. Right. Seeing something that's been totally destroyed, old, torn, and then you guys really
Right.
bring it back to life. Right. And anything that's I imagine that's pretty rewarding.
Yeah.
That you did something with your day. You did something with that you can visually see the end result after.
And I think all of the guys here feel the same way about that. They all enjoy
Right,
the
yeah.
end result.
Yeah. Sense of ownership and anything, right?
Right.
You're working on a project from start to finish.
Sure.
You see it done. You're like,
Yeah,
I did that.
I did that. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
that's awesome. So you said you worked here in general for a good amount of time. You've owned there for almost 15 years now. How would you say the business has grown as a business, but also maybe adapting to just the world? Because even
Sure.
10 years ago, culture, the world itself, it's different from everything else.
Right.
So.
Yeah. I don't know. It's kind of wild. It goes up and down, but it seems like we always have something to do. When I first started here, it was just different. We were working on different amounts of seats every day, different styles. Now we're doing the newer vehicles. When we started here, we were fixing 02, the 05 seats every day. Now we're fixing 2015 to 18 seats every day.
Right.
Learning the new technologies, a learning curve. All the new plugs that come underneath the seats. To disconnect, and then the airbag lights and everything. So a lot of changes go on over the time.
Just adapt with the times, right?
Right.
Whatever life throws at you.
Yep.
You're not gonna just throw it in, right? If you want to have something long lasting, you gotta be able to adapt.
Exactly. Yeah, you
Regardless
just gotta change with them. If they want something, you gotta try to make it.
Especially with vehicles, they're getting a lot more, so much more electronic and hands-on.
Yeah, back to the connectors and seat heaters and airbag lights, and
Dealerships are making it.
it's a learning curve.
yeah, we're making it a little more complicated for shops to, almost anything. Like, you gotta go direct to the dealership.
Right.
Design.
Yeah, the sewing stuff doesn't change. It's getting to the sewing stuff. Removing that seat cover correctly without damaging plastic clips, and it can be a challenge. But you just learn as you go. When you've been doing it for so long, you kind of you remember. Oh yeah, this seat's got a release here, or, clip here.
As a business owner, what are some challenges that you have to overcome? Since you took over the shop and everything like that, making sure that you keep it running and you got staff, this is how they generate their livelihood.
Right.
So
yeah, we got a really great staff now, and things are going great. I've had in the past we've had curveballs thrown at you. And, I think every business owner has. So just part of keeping it together, and when you got a good crew, you want to keep them, and everybody's it's important to have everybody happy,
right.
And everybody being a team player. So just as a business owner, that's what you strive to do. That way, the end result is what you want it to be.
Right.
Because if you don't do that, it's no fun to be in a building where
right.
where the attitude's not right. You want everybody to be happy. So that's a full-time job in itself.
Right.
And that's important because you only got so much space to work with. You got to share that space with these guys every day.
Right. Yeah.
So
it's and looking at it, it's a small, spacious shop, but it's it's not a warehouse, right?
Right.
So very much everybody close knit. Everybody's hanging out together every day. So
we help each other out. Inside the shop and outside the shop.
Right.
It's kind of like a small family here, and
yeah.
we just try to help everybody out the best way we can.
Yeah, and I've seen that as well. We've been working together for a couple of years now, so I've seen anybody that you kind of bring within the atmosphere, you really do your best to try to make sure that you're taken care of.
Sure.
Like I said, inside and outside of the shop.
Right.
So if you can't come to work if stuff outside of work is falling apart.
Right.
So
exactly.
You're gonna, from the looks of it, you've done a good job helping keep everybody.
It's not always just a walk in the park.
Yeah.
But
especially people business, everybody's different.
Sure.
It's a lot more black and white.
Yep.
It's much more than just 1 + 1 is 2.
Sure.
You're dealing with an individual. Who knows?
And in growth, that's a challenge too, because forever it was just me and Chico.
Right.
That was just it, just me and him.
Just you two.
And then we weren't as busy as we used to be back then.
Right.
So just as you grow, things change. You need to add another person to the party, and you just move forward. And now there's a total of 4 of us.
Right.
Terry over there doing the furniture, and so I kind of got 2 sides to manage.
Mm-hmm.
Now I got the auto side and the furniture side. So
Right.
it just comes with growth.
Right.
I think everybody has it.
Yeah.
So.
Talking about family, my dad was here, right? So
Yeah.
the way that it all worked out. It's
Yeah.
kind of funny that we started working together, and turns out my dad had experience with working a sewing machine.
Sure.
Knew how to work it well from the life we had in California. And
He's going on 2 years now with us.
Right. Yeah.
I sure enjoy having him every day.
Yeah. No. We talked about it. Usually I go to my parents' house on Sundays, and they'll fill me in on what you guys are working on and a fun project that he likes to do and show me pictures and stuff. So
That's cool.
yeah, it really is, family business almost.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. It's been one of the coolest things for me. So then, speaking about challenges, COVID. That was
a
crazy year for everybody.
curveball too. I remember the day it happened, driving to town, and there's nobody on the roads.
Right.
We come to work and it's just ghost town.
Right.
But so we were worried at first. What are we gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
We're running out of projects on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody's calling in to make appointments. It's like, what's gonna happen? Well, it was like a week or 2, and then people started coming in.
Oh, did they? Yeah.
And then they started coming in. And they started coming in.
Really?
They didn't quit.
Really?
It's like everybody's at home staring at their project in the garage they haven't touched for 15 years. And they're like, oh, now's a good time to maybe work on this or get out of the house and go to the garage. But then it's like, oh, I wonder if the upholstery shop's open. I need to take these seats down there.
Right.
And I think everybody's thinking the same thing. So we got extremely busy.
Really?
Yeah.
And then there was just you two at the time.
Yeah,
right?
it was just
you and Chico.
Yeah, and yeah, we got really busy during COVID.
Right.
So
that's a good and a bad thing.
it was
right?
good. I was telling people 4 to 6 months on projects, just depending on what it was. We could still do daily turnovers, for our dealerships and things, but I mean, you drop off a set of seats, it's a project.
Right.
It's gonna be a little bit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, it was
we chewed through it all, and everybody. I think everybody was pretty happy.
It was a crazy year for everybody, for sure.
It was.
You had to. That was really one that you had to kind of adapt and really overcome.
Yeah, and some businesses, I feel bad for them. The restaurants and things, they really had to strive to figure out a way to survive.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
For us, it was just show up.
Right.
They came to us. And it was different, but it worked.
There was a little bit of a kind of disparity where some businesses tanked and then others, really took off.
Yeah, and then we didn't really, shortage on supplies. People were worried about that. We didn't really have too much of a supply issue with our basic glue, foam, vinyl. If you're trying to restore a car, people couldn't get parts, chrome, seat covers, things for that car. But
Right.
Our everyday repair business, and as far as ordering vinyl and foam, it didn't really slow us down too much. So that was
Right.
good.
If anything, it was getting materials to be able to keep going.
Right.
That was the next challenge. How are we
For
gonna
sure.
how are we gonna get the next thing in? So obviously, like we talk about people business. Do you have any specific or kind of memories that stand out, either working on a project or a client, even? Sometimes clients become lifelong friends.
Sure.
you know?
I made a lot of good friends with clients working on their cars, and we've left with both being happy on both ends. They're happy and I'm happy, and that's a good feeling when both parties leave, or walk away happy.
Mutually satisfied.
Yeah, and they come in and they like to see what they're what they're paying for, what they're getting.
Right,
They want,
right.
especially if it's a project, they want to come in and check on things. So.
They got what they were paying for, what they
Yeah.
wanted. Because a lot of times clients will just give you an idea of what they want, but it's really kind of your job.
Yeah,
to
some
put it
of
together,
them
right?
tell me how they want it. Some of them say surprise me, and
Right.
that's
yeah.
challenging too. You don't know what they like,
Yeah, yeah.
So then you kind of got to get to know them a little bit to feel them out. To
Right.
say, well, I don't think he's that type of guy. He probably don't want them little diamonds,
Right,
something
right.
a little different, or so.
Mhm.
Yeah, they're all everybody's different, but. I enjoy working with the customers. They don't bother me when they stop by. I'm always, come check it out, and
Right.
nothing to hide. It's just
Yeah.
always,
It's better they come see it and say I don't really like that than
Right.
have it all done. They show up and they're like, that's not what I wanted at all.
Sure.
Right.
So, and as you see our shop layout, when you walk in, you're in the zone.
You're in it.
There's
right?
no
yeah.
buffer zone. There's no office up front.
You're in the battlefield.
When you come in, you're in the shop.
Right. Yeah, that's something I always think about. Is clients kind of leave it up to you. Now you gotta really get those gears turning.
Right.
So really, works helps. Kind of keep you sharp, right? Keep
Sure.
your kind of creativity up.
Yeah.
Because you gotta really dial in on what somebody's wanting and be able to picture it in your head before they even know.
Right.
Right. They don't even know what they want.
Yeah.
I just want this fixed. Or
Yeah.
I just want this changed.
Or they just want to see something,
Right.
It's
Other than what I got,
and
other
then
than what I
it's
got now. Right.
you don't want them coming in and say, man, you haven't even touched it yet.
Right. Yeah.
But it's
yeah.
happened. We get busy, and that's part of life. But it's you try. You just try to work with everybody.
Ups and downs with the business.
Right.
So, what are some misconceptions, or maybe something that people maybe have a skewed vision of when it comes
Sure.
to the upholstery business?
A lot of people want estimates over the phone. Hey, can you give me a price? And it's, I won't hold you to it. And then they show up, and you give them the real estimate, and it's, what the heck, man? That's not what it was on the phone, And
Right.
so we don't do over the phone estimates. You really can't. You need to see it first. Everything's visual here. They say, oh, my seat's torn up. Well, how bad is it? They say, well, it's just, about a 2-inch little where you slide in and out, and then when it shows up, half of it's missing. And they want that same price. So
Right.
it's like, okay, we went from sewing your cover back together and fixing your foam to replacing 4 or 5 panels and totally,
Right.
fixing your foam. So,
Okay.
there's a lot of misconceptions, oh, it shouldn't take them nothing to do that, well, everything's labor intensive here, that we don't do any hand sewing, just right there in the car in the parking lot.
Right.
The seat has to come out, it's gotta be torn down, the cover's gotta go through the machine, we gotta rebuild the foam, cut out the pad. So, we don't want to just do a half job. We want the full job, and then when they sit in it, it just feels nice, and
Right.
they feel like they got a good job when they leave here.
Yeah.
So, some people, not everybody, but some people they think, hey, this will be easy for them. Or another one's providing their own material. Like they buy a cheap top on eBay, but they want us to put it on to make it look like it's a $5,000 top. Well,
Yeah.
it just, you gotta buy good product to have good results. We can do the same techniques on a cheap top or an expensive top, and they don't always look the same. It's
Right.
that quality of material really helps. And we got a strong backing on everything we order, so we have a support team. If you bring me a top online, I don't know who to call.
Right.
If it rips, if anything, is off, and then the customer, wants to know this, and this, and you're trying to point fingers. I'm saying it's the top, they're saying it's the installer.
Right.
So we really don't. We really prefer to install our own products.
Your own material.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, you know what you're working with. You know what's going on.
Sure.
Something tears and you bought it online. You're the last point of contact. It's automatically gonna be your fault, right? No matter.
And it's our reputation. We don't want it going down the road looking like crap, and the guy goes to the car show, man, who put that on for you? It's like,
Yeah.
we put it on, but the top's actually, like junk, but he wanted us to use it anyways.
Mhm.
So, you can run across some of that. Not too much anymore, but
Yeah.
It's
So
just
always trust your upholsterer for the material that they're gonna give
Right,
you.
yeah.
Right. Trust the upholsterer that they're gonna give you the best
Yeah.
material for what you want and to make sure it's gonna last.
Sure.
Instead of just tissue paper on something.
Yeah, people say, "Oh, I can get this top for $250 on eBay." It's
Right,
like, well,
right.
It's probably gonna look like $250.
Yeah, you get what you pay for.
Yeah.
That falls true sometimes. So ultimately you do seat repairs, right? You can do all total interior, right?
Yeah, complete interiors. We installed seat covers from Aaliyah Leather. It's it's a full kit. So we just did a 2023 Chevrolet. It was cloth off the factory dealership lot. It came to us, wanted leather, so we removed the cloth interior and put the leather in.
Okay.
So that's one thing we do, and then convertible tops, start to finish.
Convertible tops.
Then restorations, start to finish.
Right.
Interior, we don't do any body work.
Right.
But, and then your everyday seat repairs, and motorcycle seats and gel pads, and then, headliners.
Right. Headliners are a big thing.
And all the boats and things, and boat covers,
Right.
So yeah, just a variety of things. And then as of, last January, we took over the furniture side of the business.
Right.
Because I guess we should back up and explain, but when I first took over, I shared the building with Ralston's Upholstery. They did furniture, we did automotive. We had a non-compete. We didn't do furniture, they didn't do automotive, and that's just the way it went. And then as of last January, Mike Ralston retired and offered me to, if I was interested in his business and to take over the other half of the building, in which I was. And then Terry over there, who worked for Mike for probably 30 years, he still wanted to continue to work, so it kind of worked out great. I took over a new business that came with a knowledgeable employee,
right?
So some small changes, but not a whole lot changed. It's kind of the same format
Right.
over there.
None of that's expansion though, right? So
Yeah, so now we're doing furniture as well. So not only all automotive stuff, but now it's indoor, outdoor cushions, couches, wingback chairs, old Victorian furniture, new furniture, some repairs. It's hard to repair the newer furniture to get a match,
Right.
But some people they don't care if it matches, they don't, their dog chewed up the cushion, they don't have any other options, can you please help me?
Right.
We do those scenarios too.
Mhm.
But,
So So anything, just about anything motor vehicle, anything that's got a motor and a cushion or a seat on it,
Yeah.
or any sort of interior, you can put them on.
Yeah, we do a few awnings. Some people bring us big aluminum frames off their storefront, and
Right.
we'll recover the awnings. So really, just about anything.
A little bit of everything.
I guess we're limited on space and size. Our tables are only so big, so we can't do
Right.
much. Things that are bigger than what our facility allows us to.
Yeah.
So,
And you've developed a relationship with what's it called, other businesses in town, right?
Right.
Some dealerships, a couple you've done work with some place out of the mall now, and you've done some.
yeah.
So commercial work as well. Right?
Yeah, a lot of commercial work. Some of the local hospitals use us for their beds, and
Right.
dentists. We did some dentist chairs the other day in Frankfurt. Yeah, it's amazing people travel, and to come here. We're doing a boat right now down on the Ohio River. It's 3 hours from here.
Wow.
And they brought their cushions up. And,
Yeah.
I'm not sure where they live, but we get people from Illinois. We get people from up north, Fort Wayne, Crown Point.
Right.
Just there's not too many upholstery shops
Yeah.
around. So yeah,
That's good.
yeah.
It's been-
Whether it's
Yeah.
furniture or automotive, we're here to help. Yeah, some people their student or their children go to school at Purdue, and then they're like, hey, I'm gonna send this with my kid. He's gonna be at Purdue, and he's gonna drop it off, and when he comes home next,
Right.
He'll bring it back.
Bring it back.
You know?
That's funny.
So yeah, it's kind of crazy how it works. But
Right.
It's true. It's happened several times.
Yeah. So, what would you recommend to anybody that's looking to get some work done, either a project or where do you start? How do you?
I mean, the best thing to do is just come down here and check the place out. Talk to us. Get a
Right.
feel for what they're in for. And start asking questions. I mean, you're not gonna get anywhere if you don't ask any questions.
Yeah.
So you gotta ask questions, and
Absolutely.
we don't judge anybody or put our nose up in the air. People are just asking questions.
Right.
I try to give everybody the best advice. So
But like you said, it is always better to just come in the shop.
For sure.
You can't never get an exact either price or vision over the phone.
Yeah.
You just can't, right? The way that.
And sometimes we'll have them email us pictures if they're far away, but still the picture, it doesn't do the justice as the feel, the
Right.
visual. You gotta really see it.
Yeah.
You just have to see it.
Yeah, so anytime, I manage, working on your socials page and everything like that, anytime somebody reaches out or has a question, we'd be happy to help, but just stop it and
Yeah,
go
direct them to the shop.
Because otherwise you don't want miscommunications or,
Sure.
like you said, so say something over the phone and then it's different.
And
They're
they're upset
expecting-
because they're expecting this and it's that, so
Right. Cool.
yeah.
So, people business, right? You
Sure.
want to try to be as clear and upfront as possible.
Right.
So that way there's not.
Communication is everything.
Yeah, there's never any miscommunication. So what are some things that you're kind of looking forward to for the new year or just moving forward?
Well, just kind of take it as it comes, I know when the weather breaks, it always seems to help,
Right,
Just
yeah.
people start getting their boats out and they find out a raccoon got in there over the winter, or
Yeah, right.
all the convertible tops start coming out and they're not going up and down, or mice, varmints, anything.
Right.
Or people just put it off another year and now they're finally ready, but
It's that time.
they wait till the late March, early April, and then everybody starts. You can kind of just tell,
Right.
The phone starts getting a little busier. The traffic, coming in and out. So, yeah, it just
Just keep the ball rolling, right?
just kind of keep it going.
Keep
Yeah.
it going as long as possible. So, yeah, it's been awesome seeing things pick up and working with you. We've been working together for a few years.
Yeah, we
now,
have.
Right.
Yeah.
It's come a long way. So
For
connecting
sure.
some dots, right? Getting
Yeah.
right in here.
Oh yeah.
Right. It's funny how that ended up working out.
And
But
it is funny how things work, but it just seemed to work.
It worked out, right?
Yeah, it did.
It just kind of fall forward always. So.
Yeah.
So that speaking of that, how do you think your business has either been helped or grown putting more stuff out there, publicly?
Sure. Oh, it definitely helps. We sometimes I don't always ask, how'd you hear about, but sometimes I think about it after the customer left or after I get off the phone. It's like, man, how'd they find me, or what did they do?
Right.
You know, and it's like, well, probably, you know, social media or the website or word of mouth. But the word of mouth, a lot of the word of mouth starts at the social media when somebody else sees it. But then they say, hey, I saw this thing on the internet the other day. You ought to check out that guy.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So you never know exactly where it's funneling in from, but it does help because you know, visual. We post a lot of pictures, you know, and that's got to help because everybody can see it. You know,
Right.
not everybody reads every word as they're scrolling, but when you see a picture, you can't help but look at it.
Right.
You know?
Before and after, and
Right.
it's very, very much a visual industry, right?
Yes.
You gotta be able to see, show the work, and
Right.
the before and afters are always fun.
For
know?
sure.
You get some stuff that looks pretty bad,
Yeah.
and then you guys really manage to turn it around. You get some seats that are down to the springs.
Oh yeah, right. Broken springs,
Right.
rusted.
Yeah, down to the last spring.
Mice. The seats with the mice in them are the worst.
That's
I
funny.
mean,
Yeah.
the urine just makes everything rust and break, and it's terrible. You know, wear gloves and masks to
Right.
even
Yeah.
take that seat apart. But
Need a
we've done it
hat
several
vest
times.
almost.
Yeah. Go outside. That's what's nice when the weather's nice. We can go outside and, you know, set up a trash can to work on. So
Open up the doors.
Yeah,
Let some
let
air
the stink
circulate.
out.
Yeah.
but, we take it on.
Right. Yeah, I've seen some stuff come in here that's pretty bare bone to the minimum. And
Right.
You guys really turn it around. You guys bring it back to life. So
Right.
that's awesome to see. So we're here in Lafayette Auto Trim. Come check them out.
Yeah.
All right. Hey,
Cool.
thanks a lot.
Yeah. Thank you.